Hey guys, Cisco UCCX here. I did a video the other night on how to pass variables between scripts with the Cisco UCCX platform, and I got some positive feedback on the video, and the question came up, was this video part of a series? My response was no, it was just something I threw together. And some of the feedback I received was, gee, it would be really nice if this was a series and you had some more videos describing more about UCCX and scripting techniques and giving some tours and demonstrations of what's possible. So I figured, what the heck, we'll give it a shot and see if I can create any content that anybody's interested in the slightest. And with that, I'll give you a little tour here. Yes, it really is 12:23 a.m. I've got my lab UCCX machine pulled up here. I'm going to go ahead and log in, and we'll start by installing the editor. The Cisco UCCX editor is the application that you will use when developing IVR scripts for the Cisco UCCX platform. It, from what I understand, is a Java-centric language on the back end. In fact, there are capabilities, from what I understand, of putting some custom Java code in if you exceed the capabilities of the tool and what it natively can do. That's not something I've ever done. It's not something I really want to get into, and I hope I don't have to do that. But there are a lot of really cool things you can do within an IVR application. You can do simple stuff from presenting menus and playing prompts and greetings and recording audio. You can get into some really advanced stuff like database dips, and there's just tons and tons of different things you can do. So with that said, I've just installed the script editor. I don't remember if I told that to reboot or not. I wasn't really paying attention there. We'll go ahead and reboot my virtual machine and let the script editor come up here. And I'll give you a tour of the interface and kind of show you what's what and what the layout is. And maybe talk about some basics on creating a simple script. So you can see my little screencasting stuff in the back end there. As soon as the window boots up here, and I find that Windows XP is the perfect operating system for doing UCCX scripts. It's lightweight and fast, and works well for me. So I've installed the UCCX editor. The CCX editor, you can either log on anonymously or connect to the server. Here at the lab, we're going to go ahead and connect to the server and log in. One of the really cool capabilities of the CCX editor is the ability to do what's called a reactive debug. So I can take a script that I've written and actually dial the system and debug the logic in the script in real time. So as I'm making decisions, or as I'm pressing buttons on the phone and decisions are being made in the script, as variables are being set, as prompts are being played, all those different types of actions, I can watch it happen and see what's going on. So a couple of things to know about the script editor. Here's the basic pane. To create a new script, Cisco's been pretty cool, and they give you some templates here. So if you do file new, you can do a blank script. You can use some of their templates. They've got an IVR, a spoken name upload, remote monitoring, simple queuing. We've got some digit collection, different different types of templates. I'm going to go ahead and just start with a blank script. The templates are cool, but I don't want to get into anything quite that crazy. So within the script editor here, you'll see we've got a couple of different areas and things going on here. Over to the left, these are all the tools that I can use. In general, I can blow these things up, and I can take a look at all the different logic tools that can come into play within creating a script. I've got the main script window here. Down here on the bottom left, this is the variables pane. I don't know if that's exactly what they call these things, but it's what I call it. This is where I'll define different types of variables. And then I've got a debugging pane over here on the right for when I want to go through and validate a script and look for errors. So this is the most simple script you're seeing right here. It has a start and an end. The script itself doesn't do anything, but it is a valid script. If I go up to Tools and Validate, it will tell me script validation succeeded. That's something you want to do before you ever publish a script. If you publish a script that doesn't work or does not pass validation, CCX is going to give you an error message that the system is broken and you can't do anything. And you'll pull your hair out wondering what's wrong with your script and realize that you didn't validate it. Let's say that I want to write a script to do a very basic type of behavior, like answer a phone call. The first thing I have to do after the start is accept the contact. Now you can create variables and select contacts and do all kinds of fancy stuff here, but from a very basic, very default standpoint, we're just going to accept the triggering contact. So what that means is whoever called this script is identified as the contact. So let's do some really simple stuff here. So we'll do an accept triggering contact, and we'll say, let's see here, how about I do a play prompt step? And I could set the properties of the prompt, and I could say, p:, welcome.wave. I could do something like that if I wanted to. But I try not to hard code things like that into a script. I like to create variables. There's lots of different types of variables you can create. One of the types of variables that you'll create is a prompt variable. So we'll call this a prompt welcome. And we'll make it a parameter, and I'll talk a little bit later about what a parameter is and how they're used. But we'll go ahead and we'll leave it blank, so there's no value assigned. And we'll go ahead and save the script, and we'll do a save as. And if you notice, I've got the normal Windows destinations here, but I've also got a script repository. Script repository, I'm connected to my server, lives on my server. And you'll see I've got a couple of other scripts up here. We'll call this, hello world.aef, and save it. This is actually saving it up to my UCCX server. I'm going to now go ahead and log back into Contact Center and activate this script, and we will take a look at exactly what's going on. So if I go to Script Management, you'll see this hello world.aef that I just saved has been uploaded to the system. So, there's other ways to do that. You can save it to your hard drive and do an upload script, but I find it easy to just save it from the editor up to the server. Now that the script exists, I'll create an application. An application is an instance of a script. So I'll add a new application of application type Cisco Script Application. I'll give it a name, hello world. We'll give it an ID number of 1, and maximum number of sessions, 10 is fine. What's important here is I'm picking the hello world script. Now you'll notice, before I do that, I've got values, or I should say a lack of values here. When I select hello world, you'll notice prompt welcome, that variable that I created in the script, shows up. This is what we call a parameter. I have defined a variable inside my script. I told it that it is a parameter, which means it's going to pass it into the CCX web interface so that I can configure the script. So I'll check the box for prompt welcome, click the show prompts button, and it's going to show all of the various prompts that have been recorded on my system. So we'll pick one of them, and I'll hit the add button. And looks like I've already got an ID 1. We'll say ID of 5, add. Perfect. So we have now created an application, which is an instance of a script. I've pointed to the script. You'll see it's hello world.aef. I've picked a WAV file, and actually I don't even know what is in that WAV file, so it'll be worth a hoot when we see it. I'm going to create a trigger It's going to be a Unified Communications Manager telephony trigger. I'm going to then give it a directory number. We'll call it 4400 for this test. We'll just give it a hello world device name and description of the same. We'll point to our call control group and hit add. I'm going to pick up my phone now and dial 4400. This script is going to answer and play that prompt that we've defined.
I'm sorry, we are currently experiencing...
Actually, it won't. There appears to be something wrong with my script. So I'm not real sure what it is, but that's okay, because what I'm going to do is debug it. So we'll go ahead and say, I actually think I might see what it is. I say play prompt, but for whatever reason, I didn't point to the variable. We'll go ahead and hit save again. Whenever you hit save, you're going to want to go back into the script application and hit the update button. We'll try it again here. Redial, what was that, 4400 I believe.
Please enter the prompt number, followed by the...
So there's a file that, a prompt that has been previously recorded. It's part of a prompt management application. And you'll see that it played the WAV file. Now, I told you we'd debug it. Here's how we're going to debug it. So I'm going to minimize that for a second. I'm going to say debug reactive script. I'm going to point to the script that I'm working with, hello world. I'm going to give it a wait time and hit OK. Now I'm going to dial 4400. You'll notice that a window opens up and it shows me a start condition. I can hit play and this will actually begin playing through, or I can step through it one at a time. So I've stepped through start and accept. Now I'm sitting at the play prompt, but I haven't yet played the prompt. I'll hit the step over button and the prompt will begin to play. I'll go ahead and hang that call up and end this debug session. But as you'll see, it's very simple to create a script, to give that script an instance, what we call an application, and apply a trigger to it, and then dial that from my IP phone. UCCX is integrated with Call Manager with Axle, the administrative XML language. And what happens when I create a trigger, a telephony trigger like this, is a CTI route point is created on the Call Manager automatically. So I'm able, from my IP phone, to simply dial that number without any further configuration in Call Manager. Now this was a really basic example of how to create a Hello World style script. We haven't done anything real fancy, but I did introduce you to the script editor. I showed you one or two tools in the tool set, gave you an introduction to variables and parameters and how parameters can be useful. You know, if my customer may need to change the WAV file associated with something, or may need to change a holiday schedule, or may need to change a destination phone number, I don't want to hard code these things into the script necessarily. I like to pass them as parameters into CCX so the customer can come in, make the change, hit the update button, and go about their business. So hopefully this has been useful. This is where I'm going to go ahead and stop. But hopefully this has been a useful bit of information, and we'll go into some more videos later on CCX and show some more intelligent scripts, and go into some more detail on the types of things you can do. But as far as giving a basic tour of the Unified CCX Editor, that pretty much covers it. And actually, I take that back. I'm going to show you a couple more quick things. This application is a telephony centric application. I'm answering a phone call, this accept method. That's where that reactive debug comes in. Let's say this was not necessarily a telephony application. Maybe it's doing a database lookup and updating an XML file. Who knows? Maybe it's a script that's called from another script, and that other script handling all the telephony stuff. I can use the debug step, and it's going to fail here because it can't debug a telephony application like this. We'll unblock. But, in fact, it should throw me an error here in a second. If I was, going through a script that was reading an XML file or doing a database lookup, I could actually just do a debug. I wouldn't have to do a reactive debug. And yeah, it tells me it's not a contact application trigger, so whatever. we'll delete that. I could do a debug and start, and I would then be able to actually debug this, play, bang right through it. I'd be able to debug this application. But anyway, that's for another time in another place, and it's giving me some other errors, so I'm not going to worry about getting into that right now. But high level, reactive debugs, good for voice applications. We'll get into some of this other stuff later. But for now, enjoy. Spin up a CCX session in your lab and give it a try and see what you can do with it. Talk to you later. Cisco Voice Dude out.